G'day, sports fans, and welcome to the Halftime Heroes. We are back by popular demand. Well, you'd also say that we heard the call because the drums have been beating and the Halftime Heroes are back for season 2026, and we thought we'd just dip the toe in with a little preview of what's coming up in Div 1. We're going to take a look at the first round, but more importantly, we're going to go through each team and have a look at some key gets over the season, over the off-season, I should say, as well as there's been some coaching changes. And, well, the jungle drums have been beating. And like I said off the top, we are back here in Suss's Garage. And thank you to the Susovich family. And, well, the man, the myth, the legend. He's back, Mr. Executive Producer. Hello to you, Peter Susovich. Oh, God, we're off to a good start already, aren't we? Yeah. Turn yourself on, Pete.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah,
it's
good.
Yeah. Jeez, you guys are good. No, it's been a great off season, so frantic. Just good to be back and just review the coming season.
Absolutely, so just review. Look at the teams.
Get ready for the season opener very shortly.
Absolutely, very, very shortly. Well, that is going to be released. We're going to do something big for that, with a whole panel included. We're going to have a bar. Are we going to have a bar?
Yeah,
We're going to have a bar.
Yeah, we're going to have a bar.
Oh, fantastic! A loaded bar.
Loaded bar.
Really?
We're going to have smoked meats.
Smoked.
I made that up. I might be able to arrange something with the meats.
That'd be good.
Look, just a warning this season, come July, June,
yep.
The garage might have a couple of salamis hanging around. So, I mean,
right.
Salami,
not for long.
Wow.
Right.
That's what she said. So we've also... Well, we are back by popular demand.
Popular demand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two or three people said they wanted to
The three people.
Right.
Well, those
that's
dulcet
popular,
tones, of course, if you're listening and not watching, is, of course, the commissioner.
Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Sus. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Howdy.
Ready to go? Sitting there on a beautiful, warm night. You wouldn't think footy's around the corner, but it is.
It is.
It
Macca,
is. And,
hello to you.
Very excited.
Good to be here, Adam. I'll tell you what, we're counting down the days.
I know.
Tell you what.
How many days?
Well, it's 20. What are we today? Are we airing today, mate? So I'll be counting the days ahead of time. I reckon we're about 25 days to we kick off.
Days.
We've got a Friday night.
A Friday night.
Yeah,
right.
Friday twilight.
And can you bring some proper intel this year, please?
Yeah, I'll do my best, mate. I'll do my
Something
best.
nice.
Without rubbing the opposition up the wrong way.
Without rubbing the opposition.
Yep.
Well, speaking of rubbing the opposition up the wrong way, what a beautiful segue.
Well, we're over that now.
This man here, Cammers.
Your son hasn't.
Hello to you, great man.
Your son hasn't rubbed anyone up the wrong way. Oh, me. How are we?
Very
good to
well,
be back
mate.
here.
All the better for having you next to me.
I get along with everyone. It was good to see everyone at the MPFNL meeting last Thursday. Yeah, it's great to catch up with everyone.
No one crossed the side of the road to get to you or get away from you, or
I don't think so.
No, not to your knowledge.
Pretty likeable guy.
Yeah, you are a very likeable guy.
It was there's a lot of voices in there though. There's a lot of there's a little bit of debate in there.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
It's good.
Big quick point, boys.
Some
Are there?
interesting subjects.
Quick point.
Was there really?
I think so. Yeah.
It's good.
It's good to get into a room of
Yes,
coaches.
Sit at their table, did
What
you?
else?
Pissed I was there.
Oh, just pissed up. Pissed up.
I think every club was there. It was good.
Right.
Good.
You ask.
Good
A
turnout.
good range of colours. It was good to see all the clubs
good.
represented for a big
Absolutely.
26
Well done.
season.
Plus the umps.
And
Umpires,
Gabbers, Russ,
and the umpires.
Russ did a good job. Russ did a good job. He was under the pump, like he was put up in front of everybody, and I thought he did a good job.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think
It's a tough night. It's a tough night, I reckon, for us because he's got a crowd that probably are sharks ready to take a bite out of him and get every opinion, and you're wrong and I'm right. So I thought it was well orchestrated. The start time irked me a little bit. I think it was 6 o'clock and we didn't start till 6:30. So And round one, first game, opening round, you're putting it on that night when we're all football coaches who want to go and watch the bounce.
Yeah,
So not ideal. It went for an hour. But we're sitting in our cars while everyone's texting about the bloody Blues and the Swans. So not ideal when we're all footy addicts.
So a bit of feedback for Southern umpires.
Yeah.
Yep, let's start on
They did
time
put on
next
a
year.
feed, though.
They did, yeah. Bit of Guzman and Gomez.
Oh, GYG.
Nice. Yeah.
Macca, did you get the goal line review up and going? Is that happening this year?
That's not happening. It'd be fantastic. Wouldn't that be great? But it's not happening. But
Still wrong.
But I'll tell you what, I need to give Russ a shout out though, because you said he came down to your club.
Have a look
And
at
he,
him.
and he came
Have a
down
look
to
at
our
him
club
already
last
buttering
night.
him
Russ,
up.
thanks, mate.
Oh.
The boys were good. He's a young fella, and we enjoyed the night.
He's
having
got
some,
the frequent driver points up,
has.
doesn't he? Yeah,
He
he's
has.
done a good job.
Right.
So just to recap, so this was put on by the
SUA.
umpires,
SUA,
SUA,
yeah.
yeah, Southern Umpires Association.
Yep.
Okay. So the tone of was it all rules?
It was
about
all
introducing
rules,
some
yep.
new rules,
Yep.
obviously that have been implemented by the AFL.
Yep, correct.
What are those quickly?
Yeah.
Run
Well,
down.
how
what
long
about-
you
what
got?
about this young
How
man?
long you got?
Oh, really?
Because there's a few.
Name-
Like I went through
Yeah.
with
No,
my
you
boys
do
the
it.
other night, and there's a few.
Introducing him.
Is the easiest way to answer that question is that they just haven't adopted the out of bounds between the arcs. And
Good.
they've adopted everything else.
Everything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
That's true.
They couldn't
Yeah.
adjudicate that.
The ruck rule is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah.
But let's talk
They-
about it later.
Could they adjudicate it properly?
Well, it's
When
pretty
they're not-
easy.
they
Who-
stand in the
who-
middle of the
who
ground
last-
umpiring?
Who last kicks it, who handballs
Oh,
it. It's a
but-
free kick
Yeah.
against.
But if you have to
Yeah.
be in the right spot to actually see,
There's
if
three
it's
of
close,
there's three of them.
Well, then just ball it
Yeah.
up. Then just throw it in.
correct.
That's true. That's true.
I think while we're on the topic, my thought process was we keep the umpires closer to the middle of the ground to stop the episodes we had last year with crowds yelling out. Like let's make the game easier for umpires. I don't know if we've done that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that rule's pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Like, with three umpires.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Who last kicked it? Who last handballed it? And if
Yeah.
you don't know, throw it in.
Yeah.
A lot of comps do it.
Well, SANFL's been doing it for 10, 15 years.
But out of throw in, boundary line throw in, they'll come round to the front when they.
yeah, but
to the front of
there'll be less throw-ins.
Yeah.
If the rule was implemented, obviously.
If you could
Yeah.
adjudicate it properly.
Yeah.
I walked out of there and thought the rucks are going to be the biggest affected players in the comp this year, for two reasons. One is because you've got the centre line, so obviously they've got to jump early. So if any cross the line, we've got a few rucks in Division 1 that love to cross that line,
100%.
so they're going to have to change their game or get out of there.
Yep.
And the second one is the ball up rule. So they're going to nominate, you're going to nominate, and if your ruckman is sitting the kick behind the play, he's not going to get to that ball up.
Yeah, no.
So you have to nominate probably your next best midfielder to go up because the umpire's just throwing it up.
Yep.
They're not
Straight
waiting.
up.
They're
No,
not
that's
waiting.
right.
Yeah.
Correct.
I
So
think
no
what
one has
the-
to nominate.
I think what the rules have probably taught me over the last couple of weeks is they are for AFL only, some of these rules. Like, how often
Yeah.
does an AFL quality fitness ruckman get caught 80 metres behind
Yeah,
the play?
yeah.
In local, it'll happen quite often.
Mm.
So I just, some of the rules good. Obviously, the knee-to-knee contact for most of us, we were around when that got
Yeah,
taken
yeah,
out for
yeah,
that reason.
yeah.
Now it's come back. I
Yeah.
think Neil from Geelong had a little injury. So,
yep.
yeah, it's going to be interesting watch.
So have your players, you've all played practice matches, are they adapting? Are they
Not,
embracing
I've
that?
got my first one coming up, but we've
Yeah,
trained
okay.
it. Trained it.
Yeah, we played an intra last night with the umpires with those rules,
Okay.
and it went well. The boys are
Okay.
adapting; they have
Okay.
to.
Right.
You know, it's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, and I just thought it was really good initiative to actually sit us all in one room and go over it. And even though it was a bit robust at times, that's
Yeah.
not Russ's fault. Like
Yeah.
they're going to make decisions, and this is what the league's going with,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we've just all got to abide by it. We're all on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 I think it's hard to explain something they haven't done. We were asking them to explain something that they're in the same boat as us. They
Correct.
actually haven't been in the cauldron of having to make that decision, so they
Yes.
can give you the words, but they don't actually know
Yeah.
until it happens.
Yeah,
Mm.
100%.
Yeah, good point.
Those dulcet tones of Commish, how rude of you not to introduce the youth of the team.
Wow.
Jacob Kelly
Great
back
to have
for
Jacob back in
season
it.
2026.
And he's got-
Welcome, Jake.
He's got some news, hasn't he, about playing himself? Not
Yeah.
playing with himself. But
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, well,
Well, that could be news as well.
that could
Little
be
bit of
news
that
as
as
well.
well.
No, good
So
to
you're
be
not
back.
you're not having a kick this year, mate. You've
No,
taken on a new
I'll-
role.
There's some word that hopefully I might be returning for some twos appearances. Hopefully,
Okay.
Get a little run there. But
Good stuff.
I've been given the opportunity to run around and be the sports trainer for Dramana Netball Club.
Fantastic.
So that was a pretty cool opportunity to come up, and will help obviously advance my personal career in osteopathy and make sure that that's just the next step that I can take,
Ah,
and
good on
hopefully
you.
get me closer to
Yep.
professional sports.
That's
Fingers
awesome.
crossed. So
Good on you, mate. Well done.
So I want to note you're an in and an out.
yeah,
In
so
and out,
we'll just
yeah.
update that.
yeah. Just
Oh,
You're a maybe.
I'm a maybe.
But there was a little quirk, wasn't there, that someone forgot to add him into the ins and outs. didn't
There
they?
was,
It
you
a
know,
bit,
and
it was a bit
look-
rude, wasn't it?
Trying to
Oh,
keep that one under wraps.
yes.
Not the
Thanks,
executive producer.
Gee whiz.
Started already.
Great start.
Just don't get me going.
And
you
it's
lot.
just a preview, too. It's a preview of what's to come.
I like that you can move freely without risk on that chair this year.
On the wicker.
10 days in hospital I spent. That chair.
Really?
Did they lose it altogether?
10 friggin' days.
They had to get it surgically removed from his anus.
The reinforced wicker. We love it.
Up the oi.
And you've gone to
Just
the
a bit of
trouble.
grain
Up
hanging out.
the oid.
You've gone to the trouble of
The
making
wicker.
it look like wicker when it's actually solid steel. Well,
Reinforced.
No, you're looking very trim.
Oh, it looks-
Please tell
it looks
us.
beautiful, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
you're looking quite
Magnificent.
thick about the chest. What have you been doing?
The carnivore diet.
The carnivore diet.
Hey, there we go.
Even the
Looking
hair,
very
even the
healthy.
hair looks
Was that
better.
you-
Looks
was that
very healthy.
Was that in preparation for the wedding?
Don't care about
Fatten
that.
up for the wedding.
Fatten up at the wedding.
But no, it works. I
Mate.
can't believe it. It freaking works.
Yeah,
Carnivore's
right.
serious business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3
Serious
weeks,
business.
10 kilos.
10
Wow.
kegs.
Oh, I might start it.
Gee,
By
whiz,
eating
I might
meat.
go
My
myself.
prosthetic foot's going okay. Had to chew that off. But
Where's Barb's?
Oh,
I haven't
boy.
seen Barb's yet.
Yeah.
I ate her.
I didn't say what meat.
We haven't seen those two little dogs either. Hang on. They're like shazlicks. They're on a stick on the barbecue.
She's going to have to do some editing on this one. So
Just a taster.
We haven't
It's gonna
seen
take
those two
ages.
little dogs.
Tastes like chicken.
It all tastes like
Jeez.
chicken.
Just hoovered the meat off them. Well, let's jump straight into it. The first team, it was the premiers of Division 2 in the 2025 season. We were talking off air, and well, there's lots of rumours going around, but let's address them here with some ins, please. Macca.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
Devon,
Macca and Gammers as
and
well.
I reckon I'm going to hand it Gammers in a minute because he knows these boys better than what I do recently. Obviously, I played against them in 2023, and I know a fair bit of their list, but I'll just have a quick chat about obviously Quirk coming over and Marshall, both from Druin last year in the Gippsland football comp. And then it looks like McQuillen's come back to the side with. And Cole, I know a little bit about Cole, watched him play at the Stingrays. He's a big body. So whether he'll get a VIA, he would highly likely be high up there. He looks like he's trying to get on a VFL list, possibly with Sandy. I would think he's probably going to get that. So whether they see him or not, they've just added a couple of blokes. They wouldn't have had that many points available, wouldn't have thought. So they've probably just got to go after a couple of blokes, and they've got two boys from Druin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just more depth.
Yeah,
Once again.
well, I think
That's
so.
the right- that's the right
And we
thing
haven't
to
got
do.
outs, and Gammons might be able to speak to it, but there's no outs there from what we can see, you know, so they might be, and that sometimes happens. If you look at Mornington in 2023, we had 8 outs.
Yeah.
Calder left and Cameron left,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, we had a lot of them, Perry Lewis-Smith.
Yeah.
So we came up, and then we had an exodus, which was tough to try and manage in year
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And you saw how Stephen Bradbury to stay in
Yeah,
year
yeah.
one. It was
Yeah.
tough. And we had to reinvent.
Did the
We had to
Bradbury-
reinvent.
Got to retain Kirby.
Yeah.
That's a must.
Well, I was just about to say, he's the barometer.
Yeah, okay, righto. So he's
So he's
definitely
in.
in.
Yeah,
He's-
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's
I don't know
good.
if he's put quite pen to paper yet, but
Yeah, okay. No, got to retain him. He's important.
well, I think
Where's
they're
on the
very
street?
guarded about ins and outs. I think
Yeah.
Devon, like, and
Yeah.
that's not a bad way to be.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they play a really good slingshot brand off halfback that goes through Kent. So Kent's obviously going
Yeah.
again as I believe, as a co-coach. They announced that
Mm.
early
Yes,
or
yeah,
late
that's right.
last year.
late last year.
Yes.
Got a great bunch of kids. I think, you know, even this show might have talked about how kids didn't get an opportunity 2 or
Yeah.
3 years ago. I think they turned that corner. Their kids were
Yep.
excellent,
Yep.
and in my opinion, a lot of them were
Got
ready
them across the line.
and ready to go.
Yeah.
Like they play the right
back
style.
then.
Gammons,
Yeah,
if they can
yeah.
play that brand of footy they played in the grand final, that's shocked us all, didn't it? That
That's-
first 20 minutes of that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Holy shit,
Quick-
what's happened
yeah,
here?
Quick footy, good movement.
100%.
Yeah,
They
they can finish mid-ladderish of Division 1.
I think if they can produce that for half the year, they'll finish. Yeah, they have no chance to come back if they can do that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Mm, big.
Which is super interesting, I think, because I think to novice sort of followers of the game, you'd look at their Devon Meadows ins and you sort of think, well, they've not done a whole lot. Will they just bounce? But obviously, from the expert of our coaches, you boys think they might be sort of around the halfway point, eh?
Yeah.
They'll be okay for the year.
Look, I think it's hard to say. We talked off air. I think the top 2 or 3 in Div 2 could probably come up and win a handful of games in Div
Yeah,
1. I think that, and obviously they were the cream of the crop last year. Come from a little way back, like Frankston Bombers obviously set the tone and got a fair way ahead, and Chelsea were hanging around. But Devon were always there. They won the games they needed to, and they when they got some continuity into Kent off halfback, they are a machine. So if they're allowed to play their way, which will obviously be a lot tougher in Division
Yeah,
1 football, where
100%.
the quality's definitely higher. They may not get that up and going as often.
And they've got the Glover reserve factor. It's a particularly hard ground.
It's a cauldron.
It's a cauldron.
Yep.
So Sorrento, I've got to go to the cauldron
Yep, if they
and
can
play
find it.
Sorrento brand of footy.
Yep, yep.
And it's a difficult place to win footy at.
So,
it's,
we saw Edie come up and handle it quite fine last year, but I mean Devon are a bit of a smaller bodied side compared, so they're going to get a be interesting in round one against Franks and YCW. And we'll talk about them shortly because there's been a bit of a changing of the guard there, but that's a good start for them, I reckon, to see where they're at. And they're going to play. They're going to play away as well.
And geographically, if you've been out that way recently, it's like a whole new city's been
mate.
built. So if they can
junior
manage
footy
to
club is
stay
thriving.
up,
Yeah.
they will stay there for a long time.
Yeah,
Because there's a huge population.
Yeah, there is
Absolutely
huge
agree.
population. It's not just salary
Good
anymore. Brings us to the next team, Dramana. From all reports coming from down there on Pier Street, it is scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when Artie
Decent wins.
returns, I saw Artie during the year. I coached Artie at Beaky and know him well. And when he returned, well, when I saw him at their game when we played him earlier in the year, you could sort of tell that he might have been sniffing around a little bit. He did go back to Beaky, which is his home club, but obviously probably missed Romana a fair bit. So come back, and then he's brought Brandon White with him. And it's interesting too, Brandon White's an ex-Devon boy too. So, that adds a little bit of spice as well for having played there as well. But Ethan Johnson's the other one. And I heard a bit of an inkling about War as well, but whether that's true mid-year or not. Yeah. So they're bringing a few back, and we all know that they're top-end talent. So they're going to be ripe and ready to go. And we've got them in round one.
That's it. Mornington taking on Dramana round one, of course, on Good Friday. Commish.
Fantastic. I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Get me polo.
You'll have your polo one.
New polo.
Yep.
Polo.
Yep.
I'll get the
Get
polo,
that.
then I'll
I'll
go.
get that for you tomorrow night.
Oh,
promise.
will you?
Promise.
Thanks, mate. No, that's a cracking start to the season. It's going to be a season and a half anyway. Keep going. Keep going. It's good.
Keep going with what?
Let's go. Next team.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I turned
EDS.
it over. EDS. I didn't see that. EDS. Gammas.
A lot of outs. They're kind of a fair way away from me down in little old Somerville, so I don't mix with too many from up that way. But a lot of outs. You hear a couple of little grumblings. I think Nick Carlin's crossed over to Chelsea, which when it happened, I was like, oh wow, okay. I thought he was rusted on, either failed premiership captain, 150 games, all that stuff. So. I'm not sure if something's happening at Edie or if the changing coach has had any impact on the list. But, yeah, those outs, I mean, Hugo Clark's a great player. O'Neill's good.
Naina's handy too.
Yeah, there's some really good players there. So, yeah, Naina is a gun. Yeah, so.
I think two gamers. So I know Luke Morgan quite well. He played with us at Mornington in 2024. Quality guy. Coached a lot of football up north. Played a bit of VFL footy. Just a cracking fella. And the biggest thing with Luke would be that when Pendlebury got that job, it was quite late.
Yeah.
So I think you'll find that I'm pretty sure some of those players were already on the move. So then when Luke come on, I remember Luke ringing me going, if this was you and you weren't coaching and you were doing something else, would you look at that job?
Yeah.
And I said to him, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I think I think it'd be a good one for him to go into. He was looking for a good MPFNL club, and he's a quality operator and a really good guy. So I think culturally he'd be great for him. They have had a big changeover, so he's going to have to. I mean, Hutchins is in, and O'Leary's pretty handy addition from Frankston as well.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that much about the GWS boy Lugsden.
That's a surprise, Macca, because on my run sheet he's only 3 times, so you should know a little bit about him.
Yeah, well, he's in there 3 times. Yeah, so I didn't read.
And actually, it gets shorter as it goes.
He's on there, so he
Anyway,
must be
it's
3
a good
times the
run
player I
sheet.
thought he
He
was.
must be good. He must be great.
So, but they'll be interesting because they had a really good year last year and probably straight sets and didn't look great in the finals, but had a great year throughout. I think Pendlebury's playing too, so they had a practice the other day against. They played Dingley, and they beat Dingley, and from all reports, they were pretty happy with their first outing.
Next team's Franks and YC.
Well, another new coach.
Change of the guard.
Yeah, another new coach. And Stevie Donnell's their coach. I coached Stevie at South Croydon when he was a player. He's an ex-VFL player. He also works for Cedar with Newey, actually, in the room next door. So those two, tell you what, the amount of stuff I'm hearing from Newey when he comes to train and telling me about those two talking about training and what they're doing, I said, I said to him, don't make sure you don't share a game plan with Stevie. But Stevie's a ripper, really nice guy as well. And obviously being a phys ed teacher, he has that sporting background and he would have played a couple hundred games. He was at South Croydon and he knows what he's doing. But obviously, in his first year as a senior coach, been an assistant coach at South for a long time. So big turnover though. So McCormack's out. You know, Mullane's a lost. Darcy, Cahill, they're big losses.
See,
So
you-
lost the
they-
two ruckmen.
It's hard to cover those players, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And Beringer obviously has just hurt himself at Frankston, so I don't think he'll be necessarily available for anyone at the start of the year.
Okay.
Obviously going to come back through them, I would think, though. And obviously Bo Bailey coming back. But they are big losses for that side. Look, Stevie's really confident in their kids. Their under-19s are pretty strong last year.
Yes,
They were.
So-
they have been for a few years.
Yeah, so he'll just put him in like we're going to do. He'll just put him in and play
Yeah,
him. So I dare say that he's quite happy with the list. So and he hasn't necessarily gone out and grabbed any from South or anything like that. He's just doing it from what's come to the club. So yeah, they're still going to be pretty handy. I really think they're gonna be
YCW don't rebuild,
No, they don't.
but
They're a
they
bit like
kind
your
of it's
Geelong.
got a little bit of a
Yeah,
rebuildy
yeah,
kind of look
yeah,
about
yeah.
it for a year or two, isn't
It
it?
has a little bit with the names that have come out, but yeah, I don't see it as a rebuild. They're not going to drop too far if you know they're still going to be pretty good. And Stevie, this will be a total different game plan. You see, by the way,
Yeah, right.
a totally different game plan. So we won't get a read on them until we have a look at them in round one.
Which they will be playing, of
Devon
course, Devon.
Meadows. Yeah.
God,
So
we're
we'll
going to
look
miss
at them
Goons,
both.
won't we?
You will.
Where's he
Well, you'll
gone?
still see him on your coffee dates.
I suppose so. You put it that way.
Oh dear.
Next club, please, Commish.
Yeah, man. Well, I haven't been down there, but obviously with the big one is Zach
Why
Jones.
haven't you
That
been
was
down
I haven't been here. I've been away. But Jonesy's a really big in.
Yeah.
If they can get him fit and he's in a good state, he'll be excellent for them. Brian Jacobson from Seaford, Frank's of VFL. There's some good ins there. There's a bunch of outs as well. They've been well pressed as
How
well.
do you make
the,
good ins? There's a whole page of
the,
ins.
the Duck. Oh, we've got some losses too, mate. So the Duck. He's going to be a huge out for us.
There was no surprise from the murmurings of last year. There was some stuff going on in the obviously in the crowd of whether he's going to go and whatnot. And they said that it was more likely going to go when he left.
Yeah, but the Peckett boys, a couple of big ins, and the brother of Lammy and Alfie, similar sort of player. So he could pop up all over the place. So I think they'll be okay. We spoke before we went on air about the really good organisations. They just continue to produce, and Mount Eliza is one of those. They're a Dramata, they're a Sorrento. They're always dangerous, and they'll continue to produce and be sniffing around come late August, I reckon.
And
Yeah.
With that young list.
You got your planning approval for the 8-story pavilion down there, I see?
Well, for the soccer pavilion, that'd
No,
be.
no, for your mob.
No, mate, I don't know.
He's Mornington now.
I'm Mornington.
He's-
Well, I'm Mount. No, I'm Mount.
Oh. Till you get your shirt.
He doesn't live in Mount Eliza anymore.
I live in Mornington now,
lives
just
in
down
Mornington.
the road here.
So he has to pass
good to know.
Chief Mornington to get to Mount Eliza. So I reckon we might see him, and it's very, very easy walking distance. too, isn't
We'll call it a stagger. But we spoke about Mount Eliza last year, and we sort of, we weren't that rat, were we? Mid-year, we're going, we don't. They lose by a point in the grand final.
Yeah.
So, and then we talk about Rosebud. They're spending all this money. They got all these bloody recruits, and they beat us by a point. So, I mean, look out. Just look out.
Yeah,
for the,
and the
look out
interesting
for 'em.
part is too. You spoke about before about Carey. So Bob and Bravo,
Yeah,
and
big
Williams
outs.
and Mercedes, the other one that's not playing as well.
another one that's
So-
bloody hard to cover.
So they are a lot of losses, but I would think I actually ran into Rick the other day. So his kids and my kids play basketball. So Rick and I obviously bump into each other a bit, and he's very honest. Rick and I are pretty honest with each other. We don't sort of hold back too much. And I just said to him, "What's it like, mate? I hear you've lost a few." And he said, "Yeah, but we've added a few." He said, "It's just we just look different."
yeah, right.
So he said, he doesn't believe there will be necessarily a drop off with that side.
Yeah.
They just look different, and they've
Yeah.
got to get a new game plan or the game plan into them, however, whatever he does with that game plan. But he's got to coach these blokes now because
Yeah.
he's got a turnover of 10 good ones out, 10 good ones in.
He's very nonplussed, isn't he? Like,
Yeah,
I've
he's
got,
very-
I've
he's
got
just
what I've
excited.
got, and
He's
he'll
excited.
mould them into what they
Yep.
need to be.
Yeah.
Yep, he did sort of say when I think originally a few started dropping off before a few came on. So I think he was sort of thinking, shit, hold on a minute here, but then obviously he's, got Jones and a few more come on,
Yeah.
and then he started thinking, I think we'll be all right here.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
He
So
embraces every challenge.
He does.
doesn't
He does. That's another challenge, isn't
Another
it?
beautiful man.
You got to poke him with a stick sometimes to make sure he's breathing.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't it
It's incredible.
fantastic?
It's incredible. Next team, please.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
fantastic. You looked at the other side.
Yeah, he's skipped
Yeah.
on, but that's all right.
You're going to go straight to
Indeed.
Mount Eliza.
He didn't realise that printers print both back to front these days.
Does he know what a printer is?
I hate that. Steph does that to me with documents.
Save
I've got
money.
to flip over here. And
No,
I
do
hate
you know
it.
what you
Give me
missed?
another bit of paper.
The
Page and see
highlighted
the next thing.
PTO down
Gammers.
the bottom. Please turn over next time.
Lang Warren.
Please turn over.
Okay, Lang Warren. We were off here again. We were talking about Lang, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you in particular.
Yeah,
you
I'll
were
be exciting.
that beast.
Yeah, Gams, you can speak firsthand of what you've seen
Wow.
recently. I think Nick Bucks he's a big in, and he walked in off the street from what I'm hearing, and he's a massive plus for them into a really good side already. Jai Moley, like if they can get him back, he's a huge ruckman. I had him as a young fella at school, and he's a quality player. I like this club is actually on the up big time. So I rate them highly, and I think their list is it's only got stronger.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Chad Mulvogue's a big out, but he was playing a bit of Collingwood, so they only had him every now and again. We played him in a pracky game. They move the ball well. They look big all over the ground. They look extremely fit, well coached, not flustered, defend really well, move the ball smartly. I think I said off air, if they'll have to finish top 3 or top 4. If they don't, that competition is off the charts.
Yeah.
They are very good.
Jeez.
I think they're another one of those teams that have that really fine crop of under-19s that are coming into their seniors.
Junior club's massive.
Oh, it's massive. It's so big because they come from everywhere to come to Langy. So it's unreal. They're going to be good.
Yeah, they got us in the grand final, and there's hallmarks of some really quality players that'll start in round 1 in their side. I would have thought. We'll have a couple. They'll have a few as well. So really good side.
Maury, obviously, he does have a hand this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, they're co-coaching, the two of them. Yeah.
They love
So,
Maury, by the way. They love him.
Maury and Luke Forsyth.
Luke's come
coach.
across.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So-
Luke, where's Luke coming
Well, he
from?
was Coringal originally,
Yep.
and then last year he was
Assistant there.
assistant. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And that's right. He came across as an assistant under there, and now he's stepped up. So
Yeah, good.
he's
stuff.
he's been a coach outright himself as
Yeah.
well. So
Just goes to show how taxing the coaching. There's lots of co-coaches,
there's a lot of co-coaches. Yep.
and how taxing it is, how much
Yep.
time goes into it. Gammers. You and Kate, that is. You're the team.
Kate, the coach.
Okay,
Kate's
oh,
senior
mate.
coach.
She
head
sets
coach.
those magnets up.
Perfectly.
She's
Yeah.
senior coach.
Good at what she does.
From
You're the apprentice.
drink bottles.
Yeah, probably. Hey, I'm all right.
I know. Mornington.
Whoa. Look out.
Yep. All right. Well, we've had a couple.
We
And
all look
obviously,
at you, Macca. You know a bit about him.
the big out for us is Kai Owens. Like we know that he finished 3rd in the league, best and fairest. Super guy, super player, really powerful in the contest. Doncaster East just put the checkbook out, and we weren't able to match it, and it is what it is. So what we've gone out and done is Newey and I went out in the preseason, decided to use that contract to try and split it a few ways. To be honest, that's being perfectly honest. So Riley Verby comes to us. From Old Camberwell, having played a fair bit of AFA footy. He was on North Melbourne's list for a little bit in the VFL. And we picked up Jackson Fisher. We had a bit of an arm wrestle with YCW to get Jacko over the line, so it was nice to win that one. And Corey Cassidy is one that's not on that list there that's come across from the VAFA as well. So Corey's an A-grade Victorian representative as well. So he's been a big in. And the other one is Harry Bold's return from Seaford. So he was a premiership player. with
Harry's a
Seaford
Mornington
2023.
boy. That's
So-
fantastic.
So I sort of look at our side and go, we've had those 4 in. Obviously, Lockie Suss has gone. Well, Lockie Suss has left us. Not sure whether he's playing footy next year. Suss not playing.
Not playing at all.
And then Kai Owens and Bryce Dinger's the other out for us as well, who was a premiership player. So ins for outs, you'd probably say we've got a couple more senior players to make our depth a little bit longer. Kai Owens is an A+, as we all know. Those boys are quality ins for us. And we'll play our kids again. We're going to back all these kids.
They're a
we
bit
played
bigger, bit
so
stronger,
many of
bit
them
smarter.
last year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've got a few more. We've got another crop coming through this year that I reckon will be top 2 in the 19s as well. So.
You did mention you had to split the 19s. You got
Yeah,
2
so we
19s,
had
which is
70
fantastic.
most of the pre-season, so we had to split them. So we ran about an 8-week process, and then we had to pick our 35 and then our next 35. And
Okay.
unfortunately, last year these boys went and played for Tyab, and it was boosting the MPFNL. But now they're jumping outside the comp and they're going into the VAFA, and we're going to boost up the Pirates.
Fantastic.
Yep, with our. So those boys will train with us Tuesday, Thursday, and then they'll play with the Pirates on a Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, different alliance.
Oh, you barely got the room down there, haven't you, on the ground to get everyone?
Yeah, it's hard. It became
You're
so
gonna
we
have
just
110
time it
blokes in there.
differently. Yeah, we just time it differently throughout the day. But
Yeah, right.
it's a challenge. But you like the thing I look at is one of my mates in footy that I'm about to come up against this week is a guy called Jake Bowd, and I think I've told this story before that Jake Bowd in his at Beaconsfield, he captains Beaconsfield. In his under 19 year, they had an A and a B, and he was captain of their B side. He couldn't get a game in their A side.
Yeah, right.
And Jake Bowd, about 5 years later, is captaining that side. So at Mornington, we don't want to lose some of these kids who want to play for Mornington, but have missed the 35, so they're going to go and play for the Pirates.
Yeah.
We'll have them Tuesday, Thursday, and then next year I'm hoping the league doesn't make the same decision, and then we're back having these boys again in however way, shape, or form.
I reckon you've just touched on something important there. The decisions that have been made higher up about where these kids can and can't go. I think it's affecting the 19s landscape to the point where the competition is in pretty big trouble, especially in Division 2.
Yeah.
Why can't Bond Beach, when we're going to diversify you, why can't Bond Beach put a 19s in the park? And it's a loaded, you don't know and I don't know, but it's a mystery. I mean, how can you have 70 and Bond Beach have 7? It's just
it's bizarre.
It's bizarre in an area like Bond Beach. It's
And I
the
find
demographic should be.
Yeah.
I find it bizarre. Like, I love that you've been able to find that partnership, but I find it bizarre that we don't support our own clubs first, which is what your club has done. I think
we did it last year.
You've done it with Tired.
Yeah.
Players have come to us to play and then end up staying. But then we've just made a cut where no, you can't have them, and they can't play in a seconds team. You can't prop up another team in the comp. What it's resulted in is kids don't play.
Yeah.
There's a belief, I think, in the system that they're not going to play here, so they'll travel and play somewhere else.
In the MPFNL.
And that only occurs in a vast minority of cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, look, let's use Langwarrin and Somerville as an example. Sworn enemies in Div 2 before Langwarrin go up, like some pretty willing contests. That history carries on. Like, we're starting to become closer again because we've been in different competitions for a couple of years. But if there's parents going, you're not going to Somerville, they're not coming to Somerville, and they haven't. So, and then you got teams like I don't know how Tyre are going. I'm hearing they won't have a side. Had a really brief chat with Kev Lilac Hastings. He goes, I don't think we're going to have 19s either.
Right.
Like, we're going to have half the teams with 19s.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things. I think Bayswater did it the year I played there last year, where we did have 2 19s teams on the track in Bayswater kits. It's just that B team, as you spoke about, Macca, just played in the division below. So obviously we had our A team play and follow us around when we played, and then the B team would go around and play in the lower division. And if we've got teams folding, like possible Hastings, possible Tyre, you insert a Mornington B grade into Div 2.
Absolutely you do.
And then you prop up that comp. You're not running an 8 or 10 person team comp. You're propping that comp up, So I think, decisions that need to be made.
The only issue you have with that is the resources to support that second club, like the medical staff and training stuff.
100%.
But
I think the partnerships, putting it under a banner, there was nothing wrong with that.
Put it
under the club's banner.
Mornington
Like,
going to Tyre,
that's
Langwarrin going to
right.
Hastings, it worked.
Yeah. Oh, well, these are the
Conversation for another
stories
day.
you're going to hear over the next 3
Yeah.
weeks, and we're going to bring them to you in these next couple of weeks, where we're previewing both Division 1 and Division 2, starting with Division 1. The next team, please, Commish.
Is the Pines. And obviously the big in there is Tom Murphy. Has gone across, and Tom is playing, obviously.
Might be a bit sore.
I think
already
he is recovering from an injury, but his intention is to play. I spoke to him the other night. Yeah.
But they're out, Lockie Sharp back to Summy, back home, which is good. Hopefully you get him for the year, Gammers. Be nice.
Hope so.
Not Frankston VFL, but that's teetering by the sounds of it.
Yep.
Lockie Martin, bloody good ins there. Lockie Marshall, outs, some bad outs, and Cam Alden. So can we see the Pines improving under Tom Murphy?
Well, Murph, obviously, he's had a pretty good career at Frankston.
Absolutely, no
VFL-wise.
question.
He can play. We saw him firsthand when Gammers had him a few years ago in 23, and he's gone and had a couple of years under, in the VFL and played some very good football.
Yep.
So, I mean, a lot will depend on whether he is right to go at the start of the year, because I have heard he might have a bit of surgery, but so depending on how much he's going to play, he's probably going to have to play on ball for him.
Yeah.
When you look at Alden's gone out from on ball, Marshall's out from on ball, and then Sharp's a big key forward, I would dare say he'd have to go in the engine room. And the question to me is going to be, Josh did it a few years ago, coaching and being their best on baller.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that's what's in front of him.
Yeah.
So he might prosper at that. He might be fantastic for him, but it can work 2 ways, can't it?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so-
Mate, on our run sheet, the Pines are noticeably short of ins.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's whether
Is
they've
that
got any more
accurate
or
or-
that's it. But that's I haven't heard anything else apart from that.
Noticeably.
So
No, I haven't heard it. But again, they're another club that probably gather information a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So look, Tom at his best is Cam Oldham's replacement, and
100%.
maybe even a bit better.
Yeah,
Play at a high
yeah,
level, but
yeah.
Cam's a good player. But then coaching responsibilities on top of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, he'll have to do some work. I think he's got a reasonable idea what's ahead of him.
And he's got, like, when you've sat in a system like Frankston's for those 3 years too, and he was there prior to coming to you guys too, he would, like, his knowledge of a game plan and how to build culture. Because I know, like, when Josh came in from a cultural sense, he was elite, and he still is elite at that.
Yep.
And they just have such a good read on the game. And so he'll have that on his side. He's just young, and, he's I always think it's funny because I'm in teaching, and you think sometimes you get these teachers who come out and they're ready to teach, and then all of a sudden they're teaching. They haven't got kids of their own, and and parents are walking in and they're telling parents what to do when they're younger. He's going to have to walk in with a list of older blokes, who Gabriel and those sort of blokes who have been around for a long time, and then he's going to have to say, no, that's not how we're doing it. We're playing this way. That's a challenge.
Yeah,
But I guess from all reports, that's what the players wanted.
That's what they wanted.
There you go.
100%.
So they got it.
Yeah, and they
So
got
they
it, and
gotta
they got a
respect that
guy
now.
who they'll who they got to back because that's
Yeah.
what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
So
correct.
I'm going to leave you out of this question. I want to ask you three. You're Tom, and you go, we touched on it, you go and start coaching Pines with an older team. Do you embrace, or do you go and embrace that aging playing group and go, I need your help? Or do you go, no, I'm gonna do it my way, and I don't want to hear what you've been doing under.
I don't
Paddy.
think you ever discount anything. So I think he's gone in there with open eyes. He knows most of the list. I think Tom is so competitive. So there'll be an aspect
Which
of
suits Pines.
what's our best team here, regardless of what their birth certificate says. I think he'll put that together first and see if he can put his imprint on them. He'll play the best kids because he'll know that's where the longevity piece is. I spoke to him at a fair bit of length, last Thursday. I think he's embracing. I think he's enjoying it. Again, he knows that once the pressure comes on, it'll be a different story. At the moment, it's great. It's pre-season training. There's a couple of practice matches. Doesn't really matter. Scoreboard can look ugly, and it doesn't really. It'll be different when the pressure comes on. But I think you'll find he'll embrace their best teams. I think that's what you have to do as a new coach. You've got to win games early, or at least be seen to be trying. They haven't come out and said they're in a rebuild. Do we think they're in a rebuild? Maybe, or they may be about to go through one.
Not on paper.
No, they're not. They're not rebuilding.
No.
anything.
So I think the culture piece will be interesting. I don't know Pines' culture. I think there's a lot of throwaway about how they go about their business, but that's
That's
fluff.
field.
That's fluff, really. I think the culture thing is going to be important. I think that's if he has got the support on the bench to help him, I think he can do some good stuff. But there's just a lot of pieces that got to go together.
Yeah. It's all got
Jake?
to align.
Yeah, I agree with Gammers. I think, to be fair, Tom's been brought in for a reason. I think he has to
Do you think
start.
it was club or players?
Well, rumor on the street was that it was player driven.
Yeah.
So I think obviously they want change. So for Tom to come in, I think obviously he needs to listen to what that change is and what they want, and then implement that with his own game plan as well. But I think it's very, very good of Gammers to point in. I think you start clean slate list wise. Like you go out, you test your boys, see what they're about. You have a feel in your practice matches and things like that, and then you just put in your best 22, regardless of what their age is and their previous sort of history of playing ones and stuff. If they're no good, they're no good, and if they're good, they'll play. And I think that's what Tom has to do. And then once again, trying to manage the load of being their number one midfielder and coaching, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. So as I said, we've said it since he's been appointed. He's going to need very good assistance on the bench for him.
Yeah. Macra, I've kept you out for a reason,
Yeah,
obviously, because
yeah.
you're going to face them.
Yeah.
But you have been in this position before with Newey, obviously. How important is that? How important is his bench and the trust in his bench going to be for him this year?
It'll be huge.
Yeah.
It'll be huge. He has got. I know one of their assistant coaches, and he's could be a senior coach outright. So I actually saw him as well at basketball. He's got a young kid who plays basketball too, and I had a chat to him about how it's all going, and he said it's going quite well. And I would think, like I did in year one, where knew he was a playing coach and then I took the bench, I would think there'll be a bit of that going on.
Yeah.
And what was good about Newey is he pretty much just said, hey, I know I've been, put in charge of this club, but I'm playing too. So pretty much every quarter time, half time, three-quarter time, before match, after match, I did all that in year one before he stopped playing, and now it's a shared thing we do.
Yeah.
But I would think Murph will want the same thing. The last thing Murph wants is to play footy, be gassed at quarter time, and come in and try and collect his thoughts. Because gone are the days of going, take me off for the last 7 minutes so I can write me notes on my whiteboard and get myself prepared. He's going to need all support he can.
Minute.
Yeah, and he has there is a guy at that football club who could do that for him. So,
Very good.
Yeah.
Some intel. I've left you till last for a reason because you can say ditto to these two boys.
Look, obviously he's impressed with the interview process.
You've got an
So
hour.
Pines are a club that they can do anything. They could go win a flag, or they could finish second last. It's one of those sort of things. But he's impressed at interview process. So it depends on your comment. It depends on coaching's a personality based thing. So you're either democratic and you want to pull the players in and have a chat, and this is how we're going to go about it. What do you think? With the older group, he might be doing. I don't know, Tom. You know better than anyone here. Would he be that sort of? For mine, it's a personality-based thing.
He'll learn.
He might need to feel secure by doing that.
He'll learn a lot in the first 6 weeks, not only about the club but about himself.
Yeah.
So he's a quiet guy by nature,
Yeah.
but he can get quite grumpy and he can go.
Yeah.
So he's got that in him. It's just about how hard can you go at guys you've actually got to have the guy kick the footy to you.
I reckon you can lose players really quickly if you go in there and you know everything. And you wipe the board, take
That
everything
was-
off the walls, take all the premiership
was
shit
kind of
down,
my
take
point.
the fucking trophies out of the cabinet.
That's right.
I know everything.
Yeah.
This is the way we're going to do it.
I get
And
the
players
feeling,
either love that or they push back against
I
it.
get the feeling from talking to him that he actually sat and watched a fair bit to start with and
Good.
just got a bit of a temperature
Educated
check.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's excellent.
Very good.
He's had good mentors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, has he?
Jackson,
Would you be?
Yeah.
Let's
You?
go.
You was
Yeah. Let's go Sorrento next.
Ooh.
turn
Leaving-
the page.
leaving the-
Well, the elephant in the
Off
room is
topic
Tomlinson.
stuff, too.
I think he's going to be a super player. I've touted if he's playing every game, he's the best player in the comp. All due respect to some players that are sitting at Rosebuds. Huss, he's obviously a good player, but Tomlinson's a beast, and he is just going to be so hard to stop. So you probably got 3 players in one there. Dylan Atkins comes across from Red Hill Ruckman that they've acquired, and
He was good.
Yeah, and Halligan obviously coming across from WA, and Tyron Head's returning too. So, like there again, we haven't got much on their outs. We haven't got a lot here, but we do know that they're 4 big ins that'll. And I would think Tomlinson's a 6. I would think points will be a major issue for them week in, week out. Given that they played at 42 a lot last year.
Did he
So-
play enough games last year to get a reduction?
I don't think he did, but the Clark boys and Harris, they all did. So they're all going to say they might have gained 7 or 8 points last year, but then you got him carrying a fair bit coming in. I think Atkins is going to carry points. He'll carry a 3. Halligan will carry 3, and Head will come in as a 1. So they might have a little squeeze in round 1 if they're all available.
The Clark boys are out.
No, there was a big push from Baronia, I believe. But,
I did hear that.
They stayed at Sorrento.
They are.
Stayed.
And it was interesting. I'm pretty sure I stand to be corrected, but Dylan Clark up at the Three Peaks Challenge knocked off 235k on a bike in just over 9 hours, which is
Is that all?
4-kilometre climb.
Lazy bastard.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Well
I
done
reckon
to him.
I'd
Well
be-
done.
Little stroll.
Absolutely.
Hour and a quarter.
But that
8
first
hours
up
and a quarter.
game for them is going to
18.
be. We're going to find out a lot,
Yeah.
aren't we? Sorrento and
Yeah.
Rosebud going to find a lot about both.
Yeah, well, perfect segue because let's have a look at the reigning premiers of 2025. They took out the grand final in the MPFNL Division 1 contest is the Rosebud Football Club. And, they haven't taken the pedal off the metal at all, Macca. They just
Well-
gone bigger and better.
Yeah, and you look at it. I mean, Gown over to Doncaster East probably for a similar situation to Kai as well. I think Russo's gone, but mate, when you're adding not only the Taylor boys, so Curtis Taylor off North's list, and then his brother as well, but then you're adding you're adding the 2 best defenders in the Southern Football League in Hayes and Simmons. They are the 2 best defenders in the Southern Football Comp. So where you lose Gown, you just add in 2 stars, and then you lose Russo, and you add in the 2 Taylor boys. They just get stronger and stronger. That's
They
crazy.
Obviously saw holes in the defence, and they're probably right, aren't they? I mean, they're
Yeah.
good ins if they were
Yep.
looking they did look a bit shaky at times.
Yeah,
in
if
defence.
you're talking about the grand final, possibly, yeah. But I mean, geez, from what I saw of them 2 times we played them last year, we weren't even in the ballpark of them. So I'm talking about that from a week in, week out. But I just look at their side and think it's just star-studded.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good list, and they come in, I think, heavy favourites again with a couple of challenges. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of sides that I think can challenge them, but they're favourites for sure.
Gammons, we spoke about the three-headed snake up forward. Now have they got the three-headed snake down back?
Well, I was just thinking as Macca was talking, I think back to a couple of times. So I think YC might have beaten them once or pushed them really close, really strong ahead of the ball when Riley was there. And, you know, Mount Eliza had some dynamic players ahead of the ball. So it looks like they've sealed that team up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But I think what I like, though, is there's a couple of teams that have looked at them and gone, if we get a couple, we can get you. Dramana's clearly done that.
Yeah.
Sorrento's probably done that.
No
so
question.
it's going to be exciting.
Jake, you're close to a lot of the boys down at Rosebud. Any word of
Nothing that's not really been touched on. I think to touch on Gams's point with Dramana being able to touch them, I think they'll push them big time just with the way that Dramana's looking to play this year. All word from their campers that they're moving the ball exceptionally fast. So I don't know if Rosebud will be able to keep up with that. Obviously, we know their game plan is heavy contested ball down the line. They're really good at it, and clearly they win premierships off it. And so Dramana's going to bring that dynamic, really quick ball movement to it. So it'll be interesting to see how they clash. And I definitely think as Gamma said, there are a few teams that can possibly knock them off. But yeah, in terms of Rosebud, they just go from strength to strength, don't they?
Yeah.
Chief?
Fun fact that their flag and cup has just passed 1,000,000 miles. Just a fun fact.
It's got to be the most photographed thing on the peninsula, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
well done.
That's the work. I mean, both clubs, and look, let's be honest, all our clubs in the MPFNL contest, as well as on the ground, they're administered beautifully off the ground as well. And that is the work of Rosebud's president, Whale Brett McRae. He's gone around to every single sponsor, whether it be $25 for the season or their major sponsor. He's gone around to each business, each family, and taken the cup and the flag and got a photo and done that. And, well, from all reports, Chief,
I think I saw the cup and the flag at Live Golf in Adelaide.
you probably did. I saw
on the party hall.
I saw it in Italy up at the slalom run. It was the Winter Olympics just recently.
There's a flag behind
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I think Nick Jewell's got a formal role down there this year, something to do with player
development.
development.
No, you play golf with him every week.
Oh, I don't. Not every week, but sometimes. But he's got a formal role down there for the first time in a little while. So
You'll tell them the story.
it's good. Development role, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
Might be welfare.
Welfare?
Might be welfare.
Okay, right. Yep. Good. So they're loading up, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. Now, so from all reports, Whale is very, very keen to come and put the flag up on the green screen and have the cup there. So we're thinking, I haven't spoken to him yet, but he'll be keen. So
I'm sure he would.
show one of the grand, what are we calling it?
Season opener.
The season
opener.
opener. He's going.
Is it round zero?
Round one.
Easter round.
Day before round one.
It is going.
So if Wales coming on, where are the rest of us fitting on?
Well,
Yeah,
this is what
we'll all stand up here.
The chieftain and I were talking about earlier today. We're just going to get a scissor lift and have a camera up on a scissor lift.
Is there two of those wicker chairs?
He'll need something bigger than
If looks could kill.
bigger than a wicker chair. I think. Just for his calves, he'll need a wicker chair.
It's a big unit.
So obviously the writer reply will have a chat to Devon Meadows as well and see if his name escapes
Well,
me.
Kenty can come on.
Or the president because he loves
Gidders,
the
Gidder.
show. Gidder.
Gidder.
Steve Gidder can come in and
Gidder was
and
on
have a chat.
Triple M. Did you hear him on Triple
Yes,
M?
yeah,
Pisses
did.
a fart. He
Yeah,
was. He
no,
was fucking
absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely,
The Gid
he
dog.
was.
The Gid dog.
Well, that is a wrap, I reckon,
For Div 1.
for Div 1. Next week we will be doing something very, very similar, but obviously in Div 2. And then the season opener will air on the 2nd of April. Obviously, we are missing one person tonight, and we are going to touch on this in the season opener because apparently the coaches, you got one job, and that's to train the boys. Well, they can't! And that's can't, not see you next Tuesday. Because the Shires, whether it be every walk of life, demographic, it will be, well, there's more to come. So we will discuss that on the season opener. But Shires, you're on absolute notice.
Oh, I bet they're shaking in their boots.
Well, a couple of the
5
councillors,
heavyweights like us.
a couple of the councillors.
6 heavyweights.
might-
I mean,
you did mention. You just meant us.
Sorry.
Oh, dear.
That is a wrap for the Halftime Heroes preview show, Division 1. We hope you've enjoyed it. We have come back due to popular demand, and, well, you wanted us to come back early, and here we are. Spook, g'day to you. He has had to change up training. That was obviously off the top of what I was just saying, but he has, well, he's in a lot of froth and bubble trying to get access to football grounds, whether it be, tiny little backyards or whatever. So good luck to you, Spook, over the next.
And is he preparing for a game on the weekend?
He is preparing
Big
for a
game,
game.
I've heard.
Big
Big
game.
who they playing on the weekend?
Shepparton, is
Some
that
of-
right? Shepparton? You're going to Shepparton?
No, we won't be going to Shepparton. Can't tell you the location. Don't want a film crew there. Don't want every coach in the
So,
MPFNL Division.
Gammers, next week we need to hear about the result. We need a rundown of that.
Yeah, we'll have to run a
matchup.
scoreboard, no doubt. Yep.
Yeah, we want a scoreboard.
Okay.
All right.
Good,
It's
thanks.
not about scoreboard.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
For us, it's
Now,
only about the scoreboard.
Kate will have one.
now he's going to roll out the A graders because he's got to win that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Put me under pressure, boys.
Absolutely.
Get used to it.
Like I said, that is a wrap for the preview, Division 1. Thank you for coming, JK.
Cheers. Good to be here.
Absolutely. To you too, Macca.
Love that, Adam. Love
Good
that. We'll
luck.
be back.
Good luck on you've got a practice
Yeah,
match
we've
too.
got Beaconsfield, my old boys, on Saturday. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
Down at Home Park. Love
Now,
that deck.
also too, just you might just waddle off down to where are we going?
Well, I'm just hearing that Rosebud might be playing Moe possibly at Coral Inn.
Ching
maybe.
ching!
Yeah, I think we'll just
Jeepers.
we'll go on down and see if any
Is
of
there
those.
some cash
Ching,
there?
ching.
Gee.
Show me the
Yes.
money!
On paper,
Oh, how much? How much?
we would be looking at on paper. So
Yes.
it's not real
No,
money.
no.
It's not real money.
It's Monopoly money.
I would
Allegedly.
estimate $750,000
$750,000.
on paper.
Thank you to you, Gammers.
Thank you.
Great
Good
to
to be
have you
back.
back next to
Yeah,
me, mate.
very good. Very good.
Very good. And to you, the Silver
Great
Fox
to be back.
Commissioner.
Great to be back. It's going to be a bloody good year, isn't
It's
it?
going to be a
If
great.
it's anything
year.
like last year, strap yourselves
Oh, it's
in.
bigger and better because we've got some amazing new sponsors. We
Oh,
have got a
yeah.
lot, but it's all going to come out on the 2nd of April, including the great man himself. He's coming out of the closet. Nipples. Peter Susovich, executive producer extraordinaire, button pusher, and the heart and soul of the Halftime Heroes. Thank you again. Interesting. We hope you've enjoyed it. Good morning, good night, and no,
Good morning, afternoon.
good morning, good
Been a
afternoon,
while.
and
Thank you.
good night. That's
Well done.
been a while.